Kepa has been speaking to the Players' Tribune, and he said that Sarri thought that I couldn't go on. My intention, right or wrong, had only been to waste time to help the team. I tried to signal that I was okay, that I wasn't injured, but we were at Wembley in front of more than 80,000 people. So of course Sarri didn't understand me. When the fourth official raised the board, clearly I should have come off, and I'm sorry I didn't. I was wrong, and I'm sorry for everyone who was involved. Most people who saw the pictures thought that I had disrespected Maurizio. I felt misunderstood because it had never been my intention to snub the coach. Well, this is all very interesting, isn't it? This sounds like he's saying sorry to Sarri. In fact, he pretty much is apologising here. Is he anchoring for a move to Lazio?
Well, that's quite a connection. I have no idea why 2 years later he's actually having this conversation and why he's saying these things. The other thing that I would say is what he's telling us, look, I'm sorry to Maurizio Sarri, but I was actually faking. I wasn't injured at all. It was no problem, no issue whatsoever. So I don't know how I feel about Kepa. Is it brave for him to stay on the field when he's injured, or is he just, a guy that is taking advantage of the situation and was embellishing an injury that was never there? What's even worse is that Sarri, he gone, and Kepa, he gone too, and it's just a matter of time. And so neither one of them have benefited from this moment and this situation.
Why now, Shaka? And let's talk a little bit about that moment as a goalkeeper yourself.
Okay, talking about the moment first, I totally understand what Kepa is saying in terms of wasting time. As a goalkeeper, you're in a unique position. If you're going to waste time, you're the perfect man to do it, because there's no such thing as, well, just shuffle him off to the side for a minute and let him come back on. You have to deal with the goalie while he's on.
He may have pushed the boundary just a little too far.
I understand that. But if in the first shot, when Kepa throws his hand up, as instant as that may look, that's a universal sign for I am really badly injured. So if you're faking, you don't throw a hand up. Right? That's another unwritten rule of faking injuries.
Take us through the phases of.
Just right. That's just another unwritten rule, right? So he got that wrong, and then how he remonstrated and his body language to Sarri after that, I thought was all wrong. But to your first question, Kay, why now? I think Kepa is in the process of trying to fix his reputation, and that played a big part in how he's still seen. That and some of his earlier errors, which in terms of goalkeeping, I think when you saw him last season, he did a lot to address. When you saw him last season, albeit as number 2 for Mendy, he looked a solid goalkeeper. Not a $75 million goalkeeper, but he looked a solid goalkeeper. I'm now angling if I'm his agent, and I'm angling for a move away from Stamford Bridge, I need to address that issue. I need to address that falling out with the manager and everything that came of it. And this is one way to do that, by just being kind of humble and apologetic about it in the media. So I understand it.
But don't stop there, because then you also have to address what was the controversy with Frank Lampard. Because the behavior of Kepa continued on from Sarri onto Frank Lampard, to the point to where Lampard essentially said, this guy cannot be my goalkeeper. See you later. Bring me whoever. I'll put him in goal. So
Lampard never fancied Kepa. He was always angling to get him out. So you understand Kepa's kind of reaction to that.
Okay, yeah, sure. But then if you're going to rebuild your image, don't just say, hey, I'm sorry to Sarri. Address the issues of the mistakes that you made under Frank Lampard as well.
Robert, what's your take on it? Why has Kepa apologised now?
I'm not quite sure why he's apologising now. And tell me if I'm wrong, but surely a physio came onto the pitch to sort of treat him, and he might have said to him at the time, actually, I'm not injured, just get that back to the boss, I'm not injured, I'm just wasting a bit of time, and then the issue would have been sorted out. But I think it's come down to Kepa. While he's been at Chelsea, he hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been a top-class goalkeeper, and that's why Frank Lampard eventually didn't fancy him, and probably Sarri didn't fancy him that much after that incident. So Kepa's caused his own problems, really.
Yeah, it turns out that Sarri does not seem to be the hardest word. Okay, we'll end it there. Don't don't forget that if you want more anecdotes like this...
No,
not like that.
No,
please,
no.
not like that.
You can always download the podcast in case you have missed the
You
show.
didn't even believe on it, because even the beating of the drums wasn't exactly full commitment.
It is available wherever you get your podcast.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.